Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, November 24th, 2025. We're going to take a look in this video at the fact that just last night, the DOGE team here in the United States that was performing the audit of the US government was officially disbanded 8 months ahead of schedule. And I had some questions about why that might be happening. So let's talk about that for just a second, okay? The DOGE team, as I said, was doing an audit of the US government for us. The government, the United States corporation, has been bankrupt for quite some time, and the cards have hinted to me for quite a while that part of that bankruptcy procedure is an auditing process. So I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and simple. I would like the universe to let us know, did the DOGE team get far enough along across the board with the auditing that it satisfied the requirements of an audit for the bankrupt U.S. corporation? Let's find out. So the disbanding of the DOGE team. Now, disbanding doesn't mean that those people were dismissed and are persona non grata. They've been um, added on to other agencies. And so hopefully, to some degree, their work will continue because the US government needs a lot of paring down. Waste and fraud needs to continue to be identified. And we need to not let that project down. And that's Laura's view of this. But my question for you, Universe Tarot Cards, is did the DOGE team get far enough along in the auditing process that it satisfied any bankruptcy proceeding requirements for the U.S. government corporation, plus additional insights and information? Okay, our first card is the Two of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Three of Swords. Then we have the Eight of Swords and finally the Page of Cups. I'll pull two more cards and we'll see if there's additional insights or layers to this information. But the Doge team was indicated by the Two of Wands, a card that talks about having a good vision of objectives, meaning the path ahead. They knew their mission, they proceeded with it in just wonderful ways. For example, going into mainframes at 12:01 of the date that they started rather than waiting for the regular workday to start. They'd already gotten into places before they were even greeted at the door officially on that starting day. So they made some beautiful savings for us, billions of dollars. They could have done much more if they'd had the leeway and the time. And there is a celebratory nature to what's been done. So they were disbanded, but not because they were ineffective and not because anybody official was unhappy with what they were uncovering and the waste that they were trimming from the government. Not at all. It looks like this is part of an official thought out plan of action that's going ahead. The Knight of Pentacles is the most steadfast, slowest moving card in the deck as far as military precision and campaign strategy. This is the card you want. So it's part of a strategy, an ongoing strategy to continue to discover that waste and fraud and do it in ways that stay out of the headlines, but still address the issues. Now, the looking at the near future, the Three of Swords always talks about loss and untruths. Often, if it's about a person, it can even have some additional layers of meaning. But what's happening here is looking ahead, we are going to view this disbanding as a loss. It's going to be celebrated by the those that were um, benefiting from misdirecting funds, etc. They're going to try to do a smear campaign, even post disbanding, of what D.O.G.E accomplished, what their aims were, their goals were. And D.O.G.E is just going to bide their time, and they're not going to bite. Okay, they're not, but they're also not going to let the tail wag the dog. Okay, and at the end of the day, they've got a few surprises up their sleeve that are still going to surprise people for what they found, what was addressed, and what was cut, and what was discovered. Let's get those two additional cards. We have the Ace of Cups, so we do have a yes that they have sufficient to satisfy any bankruptcy proceedings for the U.S. government corporation, and then the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so there is an effort with what they find and what they address to make sure that, first of all, no harm is done, even though I know people have said, oh, the D.O.G.E cuts have hurt children overseas. I don't know that they can empirically justify those statements or approve them in any way. But yeah, we got a hard yes, absolutely. And the cuts are going to continue in a modest fashion and kind of below the radar. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing. But as far as any satisfying any requirements for a bankruptcy, we've got a hard, hard yes. Let's recap. The D.O.G.E team was disbanded yesterday, 8 months ahead of schedule, but with their work officially not complete, as far as we know. I found the news to be sad because I was looking forward to hearing continued updates and reports showing that fraud and waste had been found and stopped in our government spending, because government spending is my spending, it's my tax dollars. And I'm tired of them being wasted, squandered, and laundered and misdirected. And out of my pocket and into some corrupt politicians. It's just not right. Laura's view. Okay, back with the tarot. So I also got to thinking about how, as part of any bankruptcy proceeding, you have to have the assets of whatever entity or person is being bankrupted. There has to be an auditing and accounting for all assets, etc. And auditing is what D.O.G.E was about. So I said, hey, is there a chance that there was sufficient progress made in that auditing process that it satisfied any requirement for bankruptcy proceedings for the bankrupt U.S. corporation? Is that a possibility that they had at least met that marker? Was that what's going on? And guys, we got a hard yes on that with the Ace of Cups saying absolutely. They made enough progress. It satisfied any requirements for auditing purposes to proceed with a bankruptcy or to conclude a bankruptcy should that be needed. So that requirement has been satisfied by their actions. Then we also talked a little bit about how those individuals haven't been put on unemployment, but they're being folded into other departments and hopefully still with same or similar objectives as to finding, uncovering waste and having it be addressed in whatever legal fashion it needs to be addressed. So now, no surprise here. The mainstream media is still going to spin untruths, half-truths, and lies about what D.O.G.E was doing and what they accomplished. And we were wise to take anything that's said with a grain of salt because ultimately there's some gifts for us coming from those cuts that were some surprising gifts. So there has been billions of dollars. I was hoping for trillions that were found and has been addressed, and that will continue. And we're going to be glad that they did. But the D.O.G.E team, the Knight of Pentacles said, right now, today, it's been a pivot and a change, this disbanding, but it's well thought out and part of a larger and broader and more intricate plan than I know of right now. But we did get the hard yes. So good job, D.O.G.E. And all of you who worked on that team, good luck to you in what you do, and keep uncovering that fraud and that waste, and let's get her done. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish you everything bright. Until next time, bye.